Today we are bringing all of the MMA news straight to you with timestamps if you'd like to skip to any part of the video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels and welcome back to everything that you missed in MMA this week. Guys, this is where we talk about everything that everybody has been talking about throughout the week. We're going to take a look at social media, some posts that went viral. We're going to be taking a look at all that good stuff. If you're not interested in any part, timestamps will be there. Like I said, you can skip to any part of the video. But guys, let's get right into the video. I want to take you over to one of the things that I want to say most people have been talking about this week. So I want to take you over to Sean Strickland's Twitter over here because he came out, and apologies guys, let me make this a little bit smaller. Still getting used to the new stream deck I have going on over here. Anyways, I keep getting asked to fight Whittaker. I beat Izzy. The world knows I beat Drakus. Whittaker lost to both. I am the #1 contender. I defended that spot easily against Costa. I will wait. There isn't necessarily anything wrong with what Sean Strickland said. That in my opinion, he did more than enough to earn a title shot. Like, I disagree with this post. Wanting a title shot off Costa is crazy. He had a very, very competitive fight where the vast majority of people thought that he won the fight. I gave it a very, very slight lean, but I honestly thought the fight could have gone either way between him and Dricus du Plessis. I hate the argument between you should really beat the champion to beat the champion. I think that's a ridiculous thing. He then went on, took another fight, took a big risk in a guy like Paulo Costa. Had a clear decision win. I understand that he wants to wait to fight the winner. I get that. But the problem is, Robert Whittaker at this point also, you could argue that he deserves a title fight, but the only thing that really bothers me about Sean Strickland, and you guys need to, because I get these comments every now and then every time I criticize Sean Strickland. He's like, oh my God, soy boy. And I'm like, dude, you know nothing about my political views. You know nothing about it. I just don't like that Sean Strickland's the type of guy that's just, hey, I'll take on anybody, anywhere. And then he does stuff like this. Just rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Plus, a lot of things he does is a little bit hypocritical. So I'd love to know what you guys think about that in general. But I want to take you over to another post over from MMA Orbit. Kevin Holland says the UFC likes the idea of him fighting Shara Magomedov, and Kevin Holland posted this, and I'm guessing it's from Instagram. If the boss likes it, I love it, and by the looks of it, he liked it. Now, this is a really, really good test, in my opinion, for Kevin Holland to take on Shara Magomedov. It'd be a really big fight, and this is where we could actually get a good gauge on where does Shara Magomedov belong in the division. So I love this fight. I hope that they put it together, but I don't know if they're going to keep feeding Shara people that he's likely to beat, because obviously the UFC really wants to market him, and Kevin Holland's certainly a dangerous fight for him. I don't know, man. He definitely wouldn't just stand there like this last fight. Now, next up, guys, I want to take you over to the UFC subreddit, because out of everything this week, this was one of the biggest trending posts, and it's Ian Garry's son impersonating Conor McGregor, Alex Pereira, and Max Holloway. You guys got to check this out because it's actually kind of funny. It's actually kind of funny. I'm a big Ian Garry hater, to be honest with you, but you just check this video out.
Como faz o Conor McGregor?
He's doing his best, and you can see Daniel Cormier just lighting up the room no matter where he is. And I apologize, guys, if you don't know, I have to keep pausing and giving commentary to be allowed to use this on YouTube. So I get those comments every once in a while. It's just something that I have to do.
Como faz Poeton?
He's cute. Come on. There we go. See, like, I think that's pretty cute, personally. I really like it. And Cormier is just loving it. And that's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. Just pointing down. Just point I have to teach my daughter that. Everybody loves it. You know, to be honest with you, I wish that we saw this side of Ian Garry a little bit more, because it makes him more likable, this stuff. Like him just hanging out with his son. But of course, it's a little difficult to like the guy because of everything else. You know what I mean? He was very marketable, man. He could have done very well, very, very well for himself. Now, guys, I want to continue on to something that is also a little bit disappointing. I want to take you over to Spinning Backfist on Twitter, because Kelvin Gastelum's coach, Santiago DeFranco, said he spoke up about Kelvin's fight camp. So a lot of people are calling cap on this, and I'd love to know what you guys think about this down below, okay? This is what he had to say. Kelvin didn't know the fight until the UFC announced it. He woke up to Instagram, and it was on. Kelvin was in a motorcycle accident in Thailand, which resulted in bumps and scrapes. It eventually turned into staph infection, which kept Kelvin out for 3 weeks. Right before Kelvin left to go to Saudi 2 weeks before the fight, he got another staph infection. The made meals were different from the UFC usual meals than to his weight cuts, resulting in Kelvin being heavier. He says that they asked the UFC for a catch weight of 175 pounds. Now, like I said, a lot of people are calling cap on this. I'm sure that this is one of the first time. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. This is the type of stuff you'll see. Tons of excuses built in. A lot of people are really, really not buying it, but this is an interesting one, and I apologize if this is a lack of professionalism on my end, guys, but I've seen a couple comments like this Didn't D-Rod get mad because Kelvin wouldn't do a catch weight fight of 180? So I don't know personally how I feel about this, because you have Kelvin from his last fight showed up not in shape, but he looked better than ever. Better, like back in the old days, he made 170 no problem in his last fight. He said he was a new man. He was newly dedicated. And I kind of believed in Kelvin Gastelum. I didn't believe in his fighting ability. I think he's past his prime. I think that he's still lacking discipline in other areas of life. But I thought the weight was under control. So this seemed like it wasn't going to happen. But at the end of the day, we've seen it so many times with Kelvin Gastelum. I don't know what to believe. I think it's completely up in the air. It could be a 50-50, and I'd love to know what you guys think about this down below. So next up, guys, I want to bring you over to Octagon Update on Twitter, because this is another thing that everybody's been talking about. It's just a quote from Robert Whittaker. I will not be fighting in Perth. To be honest, I'm nobody's backup fighter. I don't know how I feel about that. There's nothing wrong with it, really, but I'm just trying to think, like, maybe if you were to do that, maybe you would jump the gun and get in line before Sean Strickland. Look, they gave Colby Covington a title shot, so I was thinking that maybe you can come from that angle, but Robert Whittaker definitely, if he wants to get back to the title, would want to prepare the best way he possibly could, but there's nothing really we can do, guys. Nothing really we can do there. So let's continue on over to UFC. We finally got the first teaser for UFC Noche on September 14th. You guys got to see the Sphere, man, because it's super cool. I don't know if there's music there, but I'm not going to play. Nope. So you have the Sphere, and it's like, it's really, really, really interesting how they're going to actually do this. I can't wait to see this event personally. If you guys are interested, by the way, I have a full card builder video on the channel if you guys want to check that out. I'll try to remember put it in the card above right here, but no promises on that, because typically I do forget to use cards, to be honest with you. Like, it's just really cool. And they have another announcement over here, which we'll talk about right now. Alexa Grasso has been announced to be fighting at UFC 306, UFC Noche 2. I don't believe she says it in this clip, but this is one of the clips that's just been going absolutely everywhere with her, because everybody loves Alexa Grasso and her feet, right? I'm not saying that's me. I'm just saying that's like all the comments, right? Like, oh my God, she's so cute, all that stuff.
I'm proud of
Oh, sorry.
and it's really, really beautiful to watch this kind of event, you know, for Mexico. And
yeah, it's really cool. Like, the Mexican fans, dude. Dude, the Mexican fans are some of the greatest fans in combat sports, dude. They really are. The Mexican fans, the Irish fans, and as much as I dunk on Canada, I'm from Canada, the Canadian fans are pretty awesome, too, every single time that the UFC comes over. So I can't wait. Alexa Grasso did say that she's going to take on Valentina Shevchenko. If not, she's going to be fighting regardless, and there's going to be more opponents, but the opponent they're looking at is Valentina Shevchenko. Now, guys, I want to really, really quick, because we want to get into something that's been trending over on the UFC subreddit. I want to read you all the fight announcements. I'm not going to bring you over here because I have them all written down. Every fight announcement from this week, we have some absolute bangers, okay? Danny Gay versus Chepe Mariscal at UFC Vegas 94. Rose Namajunas versus Tracy Cortez at UFC Denver. Macy Barber's out, and Tracy's fight was canceled. Alexander Volkanovski, and this is not an announcement, wants to fight Charles Oliveira at the end of the year. There's been buzz around that. Vyacheslav Borshev is back, taking on James Lontop at UFC Vegas 96. Natalia Silva versus Jessica Andrade at UFC Vegas 97. Muhammad Yahya versus Cal Fernandez at UFC Abu Dhabi. Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady at UFC Vegas 97. Joel Alvarez versus Elvis Brenner at UFC Abu Dhabi. Miranda Maverick versus Dione Barboza at UFC Vegas 94. And that was Tracy Cortez's original fight. She is now out of that fight. Miranda Maverick is stepping in. Stephanie Lucindo versus Talita Alencar, the greatest fighter of all time, at UFC Vegas 95. William Gomez versus Joe Anderson Brito at UFC Paris. Christian Leroy Duncan versus Robert Bryzak at UFC 304. Oh, that was the original. That was the original fight. Christian Leroy Duncan is now, and I'm looking like a complete idiot. A complete idiot. We know that MMA Orbit has it. I wrote that down completely wrong. Let's see. Come on. There we go. I'll show it to you guys. So, how did I forget that? Because it's a banger, dude. I saw this earlier today. I saw this earlier today. I was like, dude, that is such a better fight. And it just slipped my mind. And I wrote, Christian Leroy Duncan's going to take on Robert Bryzak. Bryzak is out of that fight, and it just wasn't coming back to me in that sense. But oh well, it doesn't matter. That's actually a really, really huge fight. I'm excited to see a lot of these fights, guys. Like Christian Leroy Duncan, I'm very, very high on. I can't wait to see. I like the idea of Tracy Cortez stepping in a lot better for next week, and Natalia Silva's finally getting a huge test in Jessica Andrade. Joe Anderson Brito's always a blast to fight, and like I said, man, I love watching Christian Leroy Duncan fight. So guys, let's continue on to another thing that everybody's been talking about this week, and it's more so of something that everybody's been laughing this week, because This is one of the most trending posts on the UFC subreddit this week, and it's going from UFC Fighter to this, and it's the trailer clip, or just the training clip from Paige Vanzant joining Power Slap. Here we go. We see that she's training on the Bob. It's so strange. I'm not behind Power Slap at all, to be honest with you. And I'm a big fan of Dana White over here, but everybody's just completely dogging on Paige Vanzant, man. If you're interested in hearing more about diving into what the MMA community is saying, how everybody's laughing at her, what people are responding to, you can check out this video on screen right now. We have its own dedicated video, guys. I will see you over there or in the next video. Take care.